Episode 22 of Anime for Trashdwellers, we are talking about skate leading stars. Yes, people, there is now another anime about ice skating. Yay, more options for ice skating fans. So, it opens with our pro tags at age 11 before a big ice skating tournament. And this kid's just shouting, "Oh, if I lose to you, then I'm quitting ice skating." Okay, you are like 11. You are not old enough for that shonen bullshit. Whilst he skates, the commentators subtly mention, "Oh my god, guys, did you hear about how this poor child's famous ice skating parents and coaches died in a car crash?" Just going to remind everyone that this is a plot in Blades of Glory. Quality script we got right here, guys. Grandma's in the audience holding a photo of the couple, and it looks like Daddy's hand's just gonna slide up just that tad bit too high up Mummy's thighs. Is this really the photo you're gonna go with, lady? You didn't just have a nice one of them holding their pair skating medals or something. You only had this one? So this kid loses to the snooty rich kid who also told him to quit if he loses. So he does just that. Skip ahead to him in high school where he doesn't do a whole lot. And his bros are like, yeah, we're talentless loser hacks who are either gonna become laborers or criminals when we grow up. But you're good at sport, man. You should sport more. Aww, that's sweet of his drop beat friend to try to hold him up and not improve themselves, nor do something like join a sports team themselves in order to get Protag to join. Protag has what looks like a broken ability where he can easily mimic movements he sees, but this is an actual trait that some professional sports people have, so that's cool. Protag runs into his old skate team and their response is, "We fucking hate you!" Like, alright guys, I get it that there probably aren't that many people out there interested in ice skating, but chill. Eventually the gay friend has to flirt with the raging Megane in order to calm him the fuck down. Now, in this universe, there is what is called skate leading, where you skate in a team. This is not a real thing, unfortunately, because it'd be sick, but I double checked and yeah, it is fake. I don't know how dangerous it would be in real life, but if it's not that dangerous, then yeah, make it real, ice skating community! Protag runs into this kid who eventually follows him to the park where he practices ice skating, but on the ground and without any skates. So every night he just goes to the park and jumps around a bit. But this kid, he is the shitty half-brother of the little shit from the opening scene. Like, the same age half-brother by like months. Super awkward. But yeah, he's mad because his shitty bro is leaving single skating to pursue skate leading, and that was his thing. That was the thing he was good at, god damn it! So he wants to create the fuck you Rio skate leading team, and he wants Protag to join. Well, I love this plot. You better have a fuck ton of middle fingers up during that routine. Fucking bloody moon the kid when you get the chance. Fortunately for the audience, Protag likes revenge, so they team up. This kid pulls some dodgy shit so that Protag ends up doing a performance at Rio's big exhibition match. This half-bro kid is ratty as fuck looking. Like, my older brother's a drug dealer looking. So like, I guess I know which brother's the son of the side hoe. Protag skates Rio's routine and yeah, he's a bit rusty. He falls over, but then Cunt just pulls a fucking quadruple axel to get you up to speed on the quadruple axel jump. This is a move that most female skaters are physically unable to do. So that is a fucking big deal, especially since Rio didn't even do it in his routine because fuck him. So after all of that, Protag's convinced he's gonna join the ice skating team just for the angsty Megane to tell him to fuck off. Cue ending credits! Okay, after just watching the first episode of this show, it is already like 70% more manly than Yuri on Ice, making it kind of inaccurate because guess what type of men want to wear sparkly tights and do a dance sport? Episode 2, they turn Protag down because look, they've already sorted out their formation. They're getting ready for their routine. It's just a bad time for new members. We have been introduced to a large cast in a short amount of time, so I'm gonna refer them by their hair colors mainly. And the green one, he's just there like, we have been skating for longer than you. Can you please stop acting like God's gift to the ice? This whole banning him from the club thing doesn't really work because he just fucking shows up and joins them anyway. And since they're a shitty local school's ice skating club, they can't do shit to get rid of him. He's just there like, free country! So they're kind of forced to let him join because what the fuck can they do anyway? And Halfbro gets to join too as one of 3 managers. This team of 8 skaters now has 3 managers. That is a lot more than what a small high school's ice skating club needs. So that's what the girly one is. He's a manager, which somehow just makes it funnier that his managing technique is to flirt with the members to calm them down / get them to do his bidding. Halfbro reckons that he knows more about coaching than their actual coach, a professional ice skater. When we see the club going home, the blue one is also mad that little ice skating smuck Rio is going to join skate leading after he never even acknowledged the skate leading teams before this. Fucking rude! I'm in love with how this team is already like over a quarter full of people who hate Rio. My dream of the fuck you Rio squad is looking pretty bright. This school has an ice skating ring because the team here usually do pretty well. This team is doing everything to prevent a nice underdog story. No, our heroes are the best of the best and they're just gonna dominate and win easy breezy. So now Protag is mad because he's getting beginner baby easy exercises to do. So at the first instant he gets the key to the ring, he just spends the entire day doing jumps and shit. And when everyone gets mad at him, he brings up again how he used to wipe the floor with them back in middle school. And one of them's just like, oh my god, that was in middle school! You need to get over it and move on, you weirdo! Green one, who's the club president, so we'll call him Prez, he challenges Protag to a skate-off we don't get to see and beats Protag because even though he's great at mimicking movements he sees, he ain't as hot shit at visualizing movements to do he hasn't performed before. After this loss, Halfbro like, wow, would you look at that? The professional athlete in the room was able to give you a better training guide to follow than I would have. Who would have thought? But then he just immediately offers to do another challenge to keep him in the team. Like, he is never not joining this time. It's a small, loose school club. There is no tension here. They set off into 2 groups of 4 with a reserve each. Just make it a team of 4. We meet Mohawk guy who's like, I decided to do ice skating to woo the ladies, which, looking at the success of Yuri on ice and to which demographic, isn't a stupid idea. Episode 3, training isn't working out too well since the 3 of them are all prima donnas and all want to be the lead skater and just end up fighting and skipping practice. Protag eats lunch with some of the older teammates and they're like, wow, what a carby lunch you're having. We can't do that because we care. And then this purpley haired one, he's like the younger brother of the girly one, takes a quick pic with him and says, I'll upload it, but don't worry, only my fans will see it. I don't know if by that he means he only has like 20 or so fans on Twitter, so literally no one will see it, or he has an OnlyFans account. Okay, skating shoes and leotards are expensive, guys, don't judge. Then he recites out loud the cute quote he put on the photo, and Protag thinks that the socially acceptable thing to do in that situation is to finish up the cringy quote with another one. But that was not the socially acceptable thing to do. And OnlyFans chants like, ew, gross. Straight after his fatty lunch, he runs into Prez, who's like, you skip leg day and you're fat. He's walking back at night with Step Bro, and they run into Rio. Rio barely talks, and Protag is amazed that Halfbro can understand him despite the fact that he's his literal brother. Lots of people found out about this skate off, so there's one team that's borrowing the rink who stay behind to watch. There's 2 identical twins, except they're quiet, so that's a fucking relief. But they may also be able to talk to one another through twin telekinesis in a show that otherwise doesn't have any supernatural phenomena. There's that bloody editor adding that shit in because they weren't 20 enough. They are different from one another because their hairstyles are slightly different and their gaudily dyed bit of hair is a different color. Their dad is their coach, their skate mum, if you will. Another amazing solo skater is there who's apparently so amazing he didn't even feature in the child prodigy backstory. And then Rio's team snuck in too. The other team go first and it's good. They get a good score. Then Protag's team goes to the same piece of classical music that is famous and I recognize it, but I have no idea who it's by or what it's called and it's shitting me out the wall. It's instrumental. How the fuck am I supposed to Google an instrumental piece? So the roles that the other team had in their team was their lead skater and then their shitty side dancers. But Half Bro's ingenious plan to defeat Rio and scare him today was, we'll just make them all the leads. And they're doing sick flips. Except Protag's out of rhythm because he's speeding up because gosh darn it, he is just so excited like a little doggy that was taught to behave but simply can't out of pure fucking joy. They end up losing because since there was no wingmen and side hose in the performance, they can't be scored for those parts. But the other team knows when they've been completely annihilated. They don't give a shit about the bet. They just let them genius boys stay. And then someone resigns. They say who? But fuck, I don't know these guys' names. So who knows who it was? Episode 4. So they resigned, as in they changed schools. Road trip down to Osaka, because yep, this kid moved from the Tokyo area to Osaka just for school. Little nerd loser. Protag just walks right up to the school gates yo, we need to see so-and-so. And the bodyguard is no appointment, no fights with other schools. Mate, fights with other schools happen outside of school and not in it. Or it's after school hours when no one's around. Don't just rock up during school hours to brawl. Halfbro gathers the gang and is right, let's make a plan to sneak in. And Club Prez is can you not be dodgy? But the Club Prez was adult-like and booked ahead with the school. And now they have absolutely no qualms with random kids who aren't relatives of anyone in the school just rocking up. So the member who left obviously wasn't the Club Prez since here he is to retrieve him, but instead their top skater who fucking flew in Protag's team's last episode. The old man running the team snooped him out since he was his middle school coach and he said, hey, I go to this high school now, you want to just hit me up? And he says he joined this school because during the comp when he fucking flew, it was because Protag was unintentionally egging him on and he's being controlled by someone is creepy. You're a sports person, not someone in an emotionally manipulative relationship. Calm down. While staying at a hot spring overnight, this was a sudden decision because they assumed they could see their team ace straight away instead of him being a bit of a dick and them having to wait until he finished training. And they were just able to find a hot spring to stay at and afford to stay at one. Why don't any anime characters just stay in shitty backpackers or capsule hotels or Airbnbs? Why are they always going to these nice and luxurious hot spring inns? Do have to mention in Skate the Infinity about skateboarding, not ice skating, they do stay in shitty little hotels. So there we go. The other half of the episode is Protag getting a badge. He needs to pass some type of test to get a badge. It's not explained, but I assume it's to allow him to compete in local competitions, because I guess if you competed in that level of contest without a high enough skill set, you could hurt yourself and be a liability for the comp runners. So instead, you pass a little test when you're in primary school, and then you're right to break as many bones and run over as many fingers as you please. Yes, you heard primary school right, because Protag is the only high schooler there. The badge for skate leading is separate from single skating. I guess because there's more chances of breaking bones and running over fingers if there's more of you in the rink. This anime does a great job of making this made-up sport sound real, but it is mostly a real sport just with 4 extra people. So yeah, not really a hard job for the writers there. Now, Protag is not the only way too old skater here, because the amazing solo skater who didn't even make the cut for the setup backstory is here too, because during Protag's absence from the skate world, he became Rio's rival. So now he's got to take him down in skate leading. He was in Canada during the backstory, so that's okay. It also means the other two have never crossed paths, so Protag is there like, no, he's my rival. Like, oh my god, two rivals in one show. What a love triangle. Most of this exposition dump is basically done by Half-Bro going, whoa, it's you, and interviewing him. It doesn't feel forced at all. Also, this guy just does the rounds of the variety shows, which you rarely see in Australia. Okay, except for footballers on the football-specific variety shows, because we have those in Australia, because we're sad. He says he does the TV spots for the cause of getting people to actually give a shit about the sport he's dedicated his life to, and heavily pushes the narrative of him constantly being number two because it's a good and easy story to get the public invested in ice skating. Like, oh my god, it's okay if you're kinda a loser because you'll never beat Rio, but just admit it. So then he offers Protag to join his skate leading team so that they can truly be the embodiment of the fuck Rio team. But he turns him down. Could you not ruin my fuck you Rio team agenda, please? And thank you. For the exam, they have to pair up, and Protag's annoyed at how this guy is guiding his movements, and then he's like, oh wait, that's what I did to our top player and forced him to leave as a result. Whoa. Then he has to do the routine given by the examiners, but like he and TV personality both spruce it up since they're not 10-year-olds just starting out their professional fucking skaters. But since Protag just does it on the fly, he keeps fucking up and as a result only just passes an exam made for children. Then the most beautiful news announcement is made. For TV personality's skate leading team, he has decided to team up with an idol group! Yes! Oh baby! There's idols in this show. I am pumped! He said it's because since they perform, they know how to be expressive. Idols have two expressions when they perform. Happy and blue steel. And for a lot of idols, that's it! Nothing else to it. Oh man, I am so excited for these genres to mix. We'll mention, since it's semi-relevant, that N from Vic's ice skates as a hobby and achieved one of the highest gradings, which his skate school said wasn't just for clout. But then you gotta remember that this is the same country where a university created an equestrian scholarship solely so that the then Prime Minister's daughter could get into that uni. So... Episode 5. It's the training camp episode, yay! Except that it's an actual training camp episode, aka half the episode isn't just them fucking around at the beach or having pillow fights. They're legit actually training. Because they've got to make it to the finals, and they have to explain how ranking works in this sport because Protag decides to change sports without actually looking up into how said sport works. The first team they're actually up against in the prelims is the Twins team, and Angsty Magane says, yeah, they're good, but we're fucking better! It's even called the High School Grand Prix, like real fucking ice skating, oh my god. And at this training camp, they are learning the choreo for their short routine, because they even have short and long routines in this. Oh my god! It is set to Patch Bell's Canon in D, which I only know because the Umbilical Brothers do a puppet routine to it. I'm cultured! A couple of years ago, the heads of ice skating, I don't know what it's called, allowed songs with lyrics to be introduced to help increase popularity in the sport. Mr. Number 2'd be so proud. Bringing this up because their short routine is to some dour piece of classical music. It is fucking lame compared to Adam Rippon, who won the 2016 US National Championships to Let Me Think About It by Ida Corrin Fede Legrand, aka peak gay rave music. Like, come on! The manager goes to flirt with Half-Bro and he like, nope! The ice rink they're renting at has a resident dog that you can take for walks, easily making it the greatest ice rink in the world. It's at another school, so when these kids go past the team, they're like, ew, public school kids, which I'm probably supposed to argue as classist, but Protag is feral, and Half-Bro doesn't even look like he showers. Even though Protag's been put as one of the main skaters in this, he isn't that great at short program due to how strictly choreographed it is, because all he wants to do is go off and do his own thing. The coach suggests that in order to get Protag to do what they want, they've got to be nice to him. So he gives Angsty Magane Protag's favorite chocolate bar to bribe him with. Angsty Magane has so much pent-up hatred towards this guy, he can't even physically make himself give him a chocolate bar. Our resident ladies man is set as one of the wingmen, but he takes it well and doesn't complain because that's character development. This choir member who hasn't really done much is set as the reserve for the main skaters, which really suits him since he's the choir member who hasn't really done much. So this whole who does who in the team nicely tells us that they were unsuccessful in convincing their best player to come back to their school. Okay, I needed at least some payoff for that part, at least some. So eventually he and Protag have a skate off with the computer system ranking, and it starts to look like that it's his redemption arc, because this is it. This is what he's great at. He's great at skating short routines because he follows instructions well. Just for Halfbro to remind Protag to copy what quiet member's doing, meaning he just ends up thrashing him in the end. Afterwards, Protag says, oh yeah, I gotta remember where all the other members are in the team. Like, fuck yeah you do, so you don't accidentally slice someone open when you do a jump. And they're all ready for the competition because they now have their outfits. We need to talk about the outfits. So these are your standard idle black and red military look outfits. And the twins team was shown before wearing traditional Japanese garments. This would not work. Yes, ice skaters often get dressed up, but they often get dressed up in latex. Because if you're gonna try doing some kind of spin or kick that involves sticking your leg right out, you're not gonna want to get it caught in your outfit. But this is an anime about a made-up sport, so they went, fuck it. These boys are wearing idol outfits and you can do nothing about it. Episode 6. It's the first day of the tournament and there's so much merch for the Japanese Skating Federation's penguin mascot, and Halfbury has to pull Protag away from buying all of it, even though he should. They even have silicon stands, my fucking favorite. How could you go past the silicon stands? But old Rio doesn't. He's the fucking skating champ. He can buy however much merch he fucking wants. Someone dressed up as the cute penguin mascot goes to take a photo with Halfbro and he lurches off. He's too busy snooping out the competition and calculating shit, and he doesn't want to get caught. He literally just like slouches wherever he goes. Have fun with that in 20 years time, Quasimodo. He storms past Rio and his new teammates are like, do you know him? And Rio, he just doesn't respond. He does not tell his teammate, oh yeah, he's my brother, we literally live together. No, he just decides to leave this hanging because keeping up his silent and mysterious persona is more important than letting his teammates know who some of the closest people in his life are. Halfbro is apparently able to figure out people's scores just from watching them. I'm not sure if that's something normal people can do. The team with the twins has the same music as they do, and they don't mention it. I don't know if it's a case where all the teams were given the same music, or if the music direction for the anime was lazy and just play Canon and D to stand in as generic ice skating music. Gellyone is there doing all the makeup. I've honestly never properly noticed if male ice skaters wear makeup. It's like painfully obvious on female skates, but yeah, I've never noticed if the male skaters use it. And then he fangirls over the boy band team. Okay, if they're all members of a boy band that attend the same school in Yokohama, they are not that famous. That manager's probably just there snooping them out too. The twins are drinking Pocari Sweat, as in the logo for Pocari Sweat is not obscured by hands. It is smack bang in the middle of the shot. So yeah, I guess Pocari Sweat sponsors this anime. And from the lack of ice skating animation, yeah, it fucking needs that sponsorship. I think it might be in Skate the Infinity where I've also seen the Pocari Sweat bottles recently. So yeah, you don't usually see product placement in anime, but they're hilarious knockoffs attempts instead. As bad as product placement is, Pocari Sweat is delicious and not fucking chock-a-block full of sugar and coloring, and it is a drink with something as delicious as sweat in its name. So yeah, good job with your cameo, Pocari Sweat, you sick cunt. Halfbro is really grouchy when his team go to skate, and it's because they lose to the twins team, because now Protag isn't feral enough, because he was too feral and out of time and not in sync with everyone. But now he's too in sync and therefore doesn't do any cool jumps and shit. By the way, their routine was great. They're jumping and spinning around one another like, oh my god, I am just waiting for a finger to get cut off. As much as I talk about this sport only existing in anime due to how dangerous it is, ice skating shows like Disney on Ice are a thing. So hey, they could be doing moves that these shows do anyway, but I'm too lazy to sit through fucking YouTube rips of ice skating shows to see if that's a thing. Hafro was able to predict this because he can magic in his mind their scores. So when he tells them, hey, let him be free in the free program to increase points gained, they believe him and therefore end up coming last. So that was a great first day of the tournament. Yeah, went really well for everyone involved. Mind you, the member who left them and Rio were also visibly pissed after their short program, so I guess they were shit, but then they went and became even more shit. Episode 7. After their brutal loss, the team are questioning whether or not they should really be listening to Half-Bro, and Half-Bro reads the room really well via just waltzing in and going, okay, so I have some changes for the choreo, as opposed to, apologizing or anything. So their drop B coach is actually like a really good skater, and now that his back injury is healed, he can fuck off on them and go back to his illustrious skating career. Protag had no idea about this, that their coach was at one point the number 8 world skating champion in the world. Like, I get that you haven't been active in the skating world for a couple of years, but surely you would know the famous Japanese skaters. Like, surely. They watch a video of him skating and man, what a daddy. Look at all that daddydom there. Look at all that daddom that was hiding beneath his hobo jacket. Anyway, one time in competition, he pulled off some fancy quadruple jump combo move and Protag like, I'ma do that. It's been a while and everyone's realized, hey, where's Half-Bro? He hasn't been at club or school for yeah. So OnlyFans Sean immediately pipes up, I didn't bully him out of school, okay guys, it wasn't due to my bullying. And this sensitive coach brothers just straight up like, geez, I hope he's not dead. Alright, it's always good to jump to the absolute worst conclusion first. So they go to his address the school has down for him, and it's just this playground. And OnlyFans Sean's like, maybe this isn't where he lives. Maybe fucking hell, child. There's no chance he just sleeps in the play equipment during the night. He definitely doesn't live there. Didn't need to explain that to us, anime. They find his real address, which is a swanky apartment complete with a guard cat that attacks them when they enter. I know that not everyone on the team is aware that he's Rio's half-brother, but you'd hope they'd at least pick up on the fact that the kid that constantly has an iPad in his hand is probably doing fairly well off. They are impressed with his computer layout because of all the data he's been collecting on every high school skate team's practices, instead of the fact that a 15-year-old has about 10 working computer monitors. Protag has been trying to learn his drop beat coach's fancy move, and Half-Bro begs drop beat coach to teach him. So he ends up deciding to hang out with shitty teens over getting his skating career back on track. When everyone asks if Protag was worried about Half-Bro, he's like, nah, he's a shifty fucker. He was probably just off doing some dodgy shit. Episode 8. We see all the boys at home before the big night, and ladies man is there in this massive mansion. Like, mate, you don't need to be a cool ice skater to get girls. You just need to show off how much fucking money your grandparents have. That's it. Girly One and OnlyFans China, they're going through their skincare routine like they're a pair of idols or some shit. It's the next tournament and everyone's mad at Protag for practicing till exhaustion minutes before their performance, and Half-Bro's like, nah, he's right. During comp, just fucking let him go for it. All of you just fucking go for it too. And they do, and they get a 6 score. Fuck yeah. Plus, more nice ice skating animation. Yay! Don't ask me what any of the songs these guys are skating to are. They all just sound like stock music classical pieces they found. After they smash it, Rio says to Protag that he'll still never beat him, and Protag just goes to jump this guy like, yeah, I respect this aggro cunt. Rio's a prick, fucking give it to him. And when everyone's complaining about Protac trying to bash some guy, Half-Bro's like, hey, it's because Rio was being rude to him. Completely justified. I mean, realistically, no. But looking at the type of person Half-Bro is, in his logic, yes, it would seem completely justified. The captain of Rio's team wears an outfit that shows off his midriff, which no skater would do. All female skaters wear tights under their outfits. It's way too cold to show skin. So Rio's team shows them up via copying their intro choreo on the spot, and everyone is shocked when Rio expresses an actual emotion on his face, like, wow, we've never seen that before. And sad emotion is, of course, this crazed bloodlust one, because apparently he's like a serial killer with only two expressions: nothing and the pure enjoyment of bringing pain to others. But this does not deter our heroes like he hoped. Oh no, Half-Bro and Protag were expecting them to pull some shit like this, and they're more pumped than ever. Number 2 skater takes their ex-member out for tea, purely so that these characters got to make an appearance in this episode. Episode 9. Our main boys are pretty much set for the finals. Hurrah! So this episode is focused on the two teams that need to fight in order to make it to the grand final. The Betrayers team and the Idol team. Idol team just casually getting interviewed on TV about their high school skating career. I mean, they're from Yokohama. I didn't think they were actually a famous idol group, but whatever. So I really like number 2 skater because he isn't chaotic good. He's an alternate entry I call sleazy good, where he does all this tacky money making, attention seeking stuff, like get an idol group on his skate team and makes all these TV appearances. But at the end of the day, he's doing all of this to help promote skating and make it accessible to the common man, which is good. Kind of similar to Reagan in Mob Psycho. When Rio's teammates bring up number 2 skater, he doesn't remember him until he sees a photo of him and goes, oh, maple syrup. Like, could you not call the Canadian skater by a racial slur? Please and thank you. Mind you, it's not a bad one. I guess Canada's like Australia, where our racial stereotype is actually quite flattering. I don't really mind it, especially in Australia, since realistically, we're racist, sexist, feral loonies with anger management problems that love to beat the living shit out of others. Seeing that we like to say g'day and are friendly is much nicer. Reminder, all of those videos you saw of people bashing up one another for toilet paper in supermarkets, vast majorities of those were from Australia. At the comp, their manager's fangirling over the idol group again, and they promise him they'll skate towards their dreams. Like, wow, what professional still being able to say lame-ass fucking shit like that when they're preparing for their ice skating comp. Protag finally has the chance to buy all the merch. I only just realized that the penguin mascot has a skate blade on his back, so that he'll just jump on his back and skate away. This is très cute. My condolences to the chef. A beautiful moment. Half-Bro says a random English word at Protag, and he goes, what does that mean? This is never questioned in anime. Everyone just has the proficiency of a 5-year-old when it comes to English, and therefore never questions what anyone says. Then when Half-Bro gives the definition for the word, it's wrong. Then when the team uses that their Betrayers team will probably win, Girly One goes into full fangirl mode. You take that back! You take back about my boys being the shit of the earth! They are the chosen gods of ice skating, and I want you to recognize that! We are no longer friends. The Idol team's performance is probably my favorite for reasons. 1, they're idols. That's hilarious. 2, since they're idols, they of course only skate to their own songs. And 3, they have mini cannons on their backs that shoot out fireworks and colored smoke. All of these points, once again, tying into the fact that number 2 skater is working hard to make ice skating more normie friendly. Also, lots of moments of them spinning next to one another and jumping around one another, which in real life would put you this close to some horrific injury. So that was great. but they still lost. I genuinely thought they would win purely because their team's in the opening animation and Betrayers isn't, but he probably isn't there because then it'd be a spoiler, and this show doesn't have the budget to change up the opening. This is a show with a lower budget, so the ice skating animation is used sparingly, but they get in just enough nice shots and shit to make it look impressive. But yeah, this emphasis on putting a good performance over winning is reminiscent of Surya Banali, who used to do backflips while skating, which didn't get her any points because, like, you could kill yourself doing that, but people fucking loved it when she did it. They do an ep about her in the Netflix Losers series, really interesting. Episode 10. It's the build up before the big final ep, so therefore not a whole lot happened. Number 2 skater commentates the picking of which team gets to go first in the final because yes, this is a big enough deal that 1, they make a whole ceremony out of your skate order, and 2, it's broadcast live on TV. Man, I can't think of anything more riveting than watching bored teenagers pull ballots. And yeah, he basically soap operifies it to make it more interesting to the layman, describing Protag as the lost dog finally back home. Referring to someone as a stray and getting an emotional reuniting like the movie Homeward Bound definitely makes me more invested in sports. And the penguin mascot even has skate lacing up his stomach. He is a penguin skate shoe. It is such an adorable and complex mascot design. Fucking give it up for Skate Penguin. During a news conference, the real Rio emerges again to tell everyone how no one's defeated me yet! Mwahaha! Just getting into ice skating as a way to relieve his murderous tensions. Rio also announces that once he smashes it in the skate leading world, he's just gonna cruise you right on back to the singles. And like, as he says, it's Protag and some other character who's only just been introduced to also has some beef against Rio and must defeat him. So it's just the two of them fighting over the one spare space in the press conference that isn't taken up by a journo. Fucking, how many people have beef with this kid? Half-Bro skates with Rio, the two of them having a tender moment of how they both got into ice skating as kids. Then Rio thanks Half-Bro for bringing Protag back into the game so that he can slaughter him! Mwahaha! And Half-Bro lets out, yeah, you're right, old cunt. Just to really hit home that yes, tender moment over, they're back to hating one another. Around this time, Mother's Basement released a vid about this where he mentions it's like shit, but not funny shit. To be clear, I am enjoying this show and found it rather good, but then I realized I'm desensitized to the idleness of it, if you will. That being one, massive cast with little to no character. This is stock standard idol anime, and considering how interesting the characters that do get fleshed out are, well, some of them. Yeah, I forgot about the other like 15 or so characters that do jack all, and 2, the humor. There are barely any idol shows that get humor right, and there is so much worse than this. Whenever there's a joke in this show, like, yeah, I acknowledge it was a joke, didn't make me laugh, but hey, they tried. In comparison, there have been shows where the comedy moments genuinely get on my nerves. For example, most isekai humor, haha, get it? It's boobs! But also, I don't trust Mother's Basement's opinion on comedy since he thinks Welcome to Demon School Uruma-kun is hilarious, whilst I would describe it as sometimes chuckleable, but it is mostly inane and childish and makes everything more adorable as opposed to funny. Then he said how the show doesn't even use the proper score system when it does, to the extent that it's plot related when Protag's struggling with the structure required for the short program. But that doesn't come in till later on, which he mightn't have watched that far since he wasn't enjoying it, which it's fair enough. Another point is that I don't watch a lot of sports anime, so everything that seems new and fresh and exciting to me, basically Protag and Half-Bro, they're easily my favorite characters and I find them really likable, is poorly rehashed versions of better written characters from better shows that I'm completely unaware of. Mother's Basement's video pointing out that Protag's a loose carbon copy of the main kid in Haikyuu. Episode 11, grand final, so it's skate, skate, skate this episode. Don't ask me what public domain classical musical pieces I was skating to, because honestly speaking, these scenes probably got animated and then their music guys just fucking chucked whatever free/cheap shit track they could find. Ryo's team's performance is fantastic. Bitch has a sword, which he is just throwing around here, there, and everywhere. Even if that thing is a fake, throwing something like that up in the air where it could possibly land on someone is so fucking dangerous. Ryo here willing to sacrifice his teammates for the sake of art. Then two of his teammates lift him up by each arm so that he can do a turn, miraculously not kicking either of them in the face in this process. So that was beautiful. Episode 12! Last grand final episode about the grand final. Let's go! Ryo and his lads have fucking smashed it. So Half-Bro has an important meeting with his teammates and introduces a very real ice skating technique. Just let out the big guns and do all your really hard moves, because trickier moves equals more points even if you fuck up the landings. All their hard moves are apparently just picking one another up. Like, okay, this routine didn't get trickier, it just got gayer. And for a final lap, they gave us the special surprise of them skating to random classical music. Who would have thought? Protag also performs his own little version of the special jump his coach could do, which I completely forgot about. I think there was a whole process of him learning this jump, and he didn't just suddenly pull it out of his ass last minute. During the performance, it cuts to his grandparents watching, and they've totally got all the fucking merch Protag brought just sitting alongside the photo of his dead parents, fucking just having their own little party there. After their performance, Protag did so many jumps, he is jumped out and unable to move. Ryo decides to come over and help him because he now respects Protag, because instead of trying to beat him, he instead worked at beating himself. This is contrived and stupid. Like, he skate good, just let him be. He also reminisces that he learned to be so expressive while skating because he picked up on it from watching Protag skate. Except that when Protag's expressive, he's having fun and thinking of winning, whilst you're thinking of borderline illegal thoughts. Flash forward to a whole bunch of skaters getting picked for the National High School skate leading team, except for Protag, who was easily the most talented skater in the competition. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, he and Ryo are frenemies now, and they just practice and chill together. Oh yeah, and they won. It's like the very last shot of this episode is Protag with his gold medal, which is good to know. Good to know you guys won. And that was skate leading, a genuinely pretty fun show. Really enjoyed that one. It was very much still trash, but whatever. This was anime for Trashdwellers by Insufferable Weeb on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. Bye.